back to Indie Games Live. We are here with Asa and George from Juggernaut Games, and you guys are going to show us Starcrawlers.
Yes, we are.
It's very exciting. So for people who haven't gotten a chance to see the game yet, I mean, how would you kind of describe what it is?
You want to take this one?
So it's a procedurally generated first-person sci-fi dungeon crawler.
Cool.
Well, that sounds terrible.
That's a lot of words
I
put
hate
together.
all of those things.
We also have a turn-based battle system, kind of like a JRPG,
Cool.
but instead of like a normal one where everyone gets one action, it actually has time units. So depending on what kind of ability you use, you'll get slotted into the queue in a different spot. So if you use like a really strong attack, you'll get put in later, and if you use a fast attack, you'll do less damage, but you'll get to attack sooner, maybe act twice before someone else goes.
That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Well, we're going to take a look at the gameplay in just a minute, but can you guys talk to us a little bit about who Juggernaut Games are?
Sure. We've been a company for about 3 years now. Asa is our concept artist, and we were actually working on PlayStation Home content way back in the day. And then we were like, okay, PlayStation Home is winding up. Let's move on to something else. And then we were working on another game entirely, and Asa was sitting in the corner doodling some random sci-fi art. He's like, I need something to do.
Yeah.
So we started out making a tiny, tiny iOS game that was a dungeon crawler, and then it just sort of digivolved and like has taken over our entire company, and it's our main focus right now. So
That's really cool. It's cool that you have that kind of flexibility where you can say like, okay, actually no, we're going with this idea. Like,
I think that's the power of being indies.
Yeah.
So you can be like, we want to do this.
That's the beauty of it. So is what games were an inspiration to you? I mean, because to me the first thing that comes to mind are things like Legend of Grimrock or something
sure.
like that. Like what kind of games are similar to yours?
Well, we all played the first-person dungeon crawlers back in the day. Like I had to Beholder, like a lot of the old Dungeons and Dragons ones. Legends of Grimrock is a modern one from that. And when we started to do it, we wanted to make a first-person dungeon crawler, and we looked at some different sci-fi like settings, and we were trying to, fantasy ones, and we were trying to figure out something that would be different. But every time we made one, we felt like it was like all the other ones. So I did a sketch of a robot in a sci-fi corridor, and we were like, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
We'll do sci-fi, fight some robots, things like that.
So we have some gameplay on screen here. Can you guys talk to us a little bit about what's happening?
Sure. So right now we're in Explore mode. We're walking around the environments, and then we've just gone straight into combat as soon as I said that.
Okay.
So combat mode, this is our turn-based action. So the camera is fixed on the enemies that you're fighting. Your characters are in a timeline across the top there, and as you use abilities, it sorts you back into the timeline, like Asa said, at different abilities, sort you in different places. So 8 character classes, you pick 4 to take on a run with you, customize all their gear, customize all their abilities. Just procedurally generated dungeon crawling goodness.
Yeah, this looks rad.
Thank you.
And what we try to do, we have what we call like our array there. So when you click on an enemy, all of your ability come up an array around you, and then you can select the different ones. And then when you mouse over one of those, then in the timeline it'll have an arrow at the top if you watch for it, and it'll show you where you're going to get slotted back in.
Okay, yeah, I saw that arrow earlier.
Yeah.
So it's a computer game. You said mouse over. Is it on consoles too, or just computer right now?
It's going to be on consoles.
Nice.
Yes, we're working in the Unity game engine, which is really cool. Lets us do PC, Mac, Linux without issue, and then we can push out to consoles also. So we definitely want to do Xbox, PlayStation support in the future.
So
Wii U too.
How hard is this game? Because I played Legend of Grimrock for like maybe an hour, and I wiped.
Yeah.
I did so poorly.
We're going for different levels of difficulty.
Okay.
So if you're like, I just want a casual dungeon crawl, you can crank down the difficulty, have a good time. If you want to do like a really old school hardcore experience, you can crank it. We've got a permadeath option too. So if you really are like, I want to do this.
Why? I don't
because people
understand.
demanded it.
People love permadeath.
Why do you
love it.
guys like permadeath?
Realism.
We actually did a Kickstarter, and that's one of the things that everyone, like a ton of people on the Kickstarter asked for was
Really?
permadeath. Yeah. It wasn't in the plan at the beginning because, like, personally, I have these characters and I start to love them. I don't want them to die,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But people are really into it. We have a lot of traps. That's what you're seeing here. It's a security camera trap, so it's a timing trap. It goes around, and there's little, in the environment, there's little panels that you can find to disable them. So
Cool.
there's a lot of, in the Explorer mode, you can find, we want to make it interactive, so you can find different, like loot, you can find credits, you can find equipment, you can, this is like a side quest that he's doing right now.
I really like that the Explore mode is free roam. That it's like not like the older ones where you click and move forward and click and move forward.
Yeah, it's actually a combination of both.
Oh, okay.
So if you just use the WASD controls, you get 90-degree turns and grid-based movement. But if you combine that with the right mouse button, it does that sort of free movement where you can look and then move in the direction that you're looking.
Because it looks very. Now that you say that, I'm like, okay, you are kind of moving in a regimented thing, but it looks very fluid. It's really cool. It's like real mist or something.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep the grid-based movement because what the grid does is it allows the environment to be turn-based also.
Sure.
And that's important for us because we have out-of-combat abilities that you're going to use on different characters, and also the way that the turn-based works for that is anytime that you move, then the enemies move once after that. So you kind of know like how that's going to work. And if you want to sit there and just look at the enemy, you can and think about what you're going to do, strategize, and then once you move, they'll come after you.
Cool. So you said there were 8 character classes?
Yep.
What are the sort of differences with the character classes? Do you have like a caster and a ranged person?
Yeah,
or?
sure. So our 4 character classes, we actually started out with 4 in the original Kickstarter, and then 4 more were added as stretch goals.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. We've got like the soldier is sort of a traditional ass-kicking type, knock down the doors, throw grenades type character. The Void Psyker who's actually going right now, she is our caster. So she builds up void energy as she attacks. It makes her really unstable, and she can actually overload and explode, but she gets super godlike powers as she builds up tons of it.
That's cool.
The Force Psyker who just acted is sort of a space paladin type character who's going to manifest shields and hammers. Engineer's coming up is going to summon. So he collects junk and then builds tons of tiny robots, or one big-ass robot that just like blows up everything. Who else have we got in there? There's also a Cyber Ninja who's big on combination attacks with your team.
And we needed a ninja.
Yeah, you gotta have a Cyber
you had to have
Ninja,
a
right?
You can't have a game without a ninja. It's mandatory.
And then our last class is a hacker, who's a combat control type character, manipulating the enemy, manipulating the timeline and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Oh, we have the prototype also.
And the prototype. I always forget about the prototype.
So the prototype is a robot that you find. It's a prototype robot that there's only one out there of it. And once you defeat it, you repurpose it and reprogram it to be your own.
Oh, cool.
But it has some short circuits, so especially at the beginning, you don't know whether it will do what you command it to do or if it'll
do what it wants to do.
Yes.
And that's something you have to encounter that character in the world and then add it?
He's actually part of the main storyline mission, so you're going to encounter him fairly early, and then they'll join your party.
So do you then have 5 people in your party, or is it you have to choose one?
No, he becomes one of the 8 characters that you can unlock.
Yeah, when you go on a mission, you can have up to 4 characters go on the mission. So each time you go on a mission, it'll ask you which characters you want to take with you. And each character has strengths and weaknesses, both in combat and environment mode. So some of the characters, like a hacker, some of the attacks are a little bit weaker in battle, but they do a lot more in the environment and can hack into systems, security systems and things like that. But also, like when you start, you're going to pick one character. And then you'll be able to buy other characters, like almost like as if they're mercenaries joining your force. So you'll get to build up like your crew of crawlers as you go.
Now this is a much different environment than where we just were. These enemies, have scary orange glowy teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the kind of spectrum of variety of enemies in the game?
So we have different environments based on the storyline. Our main storyline is on the Stella Marin. It's this giant colony ship that you find and devoid of life. You have to figure out what happened to everybody on there. And on there's a lot of robots that have gone crazy, and you're fighting them.
Nice.
And the mystery is like what's making the robots go crazy, things like that. This level here, it's a corporation that is a mining corporation. So, and they had this problem that they said like this alien artifact they found is making these bugs go crazy and attack people. So when you go in, the security systems are also messed up. So the robots we fought were the security systems of the corporation. And now that we're in the mines, you're interacting with some of the actual life that lives in the caves.
Okay, so the whole game's not on the ship.
No, the main storyline takes place mostly on the ship, but then the side quests, we're going to have procedurally generated side quests that you can take at any time. And a lot of those, the different corporations that run the universe will give you these different jobs. And then what jobs you do for them, it keeps track of those also, and that's your reputation. So if you do a lot of missions for a certain corporation, then your reputation with them is really high, and they'll give you other jobs and pay you more. If you do bad things for a corporation, or if you can raid a corporation and steal one of their scientists for another one, then your rep with that company goes down, and if it gets too low, they may send mercenaries out to kill you because you're bugging them so much.
Because you just need one more challenge.
Yeah. You need more enemies in the universe, right?
Yeah.
So you guys, talked a little bit about your Kickstarter and your backers. Like, how, involved were they kind of in the development process?
Super involved. A lot of our pledge tiers, we wanted to avoid physical rewards. So what we did for our higher tiers was put yourself in the game, design an enemy in the game, design a mission and stuff like that. And Kickstarter backers totally responded to that. Our community is awesome. They're actually in early access on our site right now, and they're testing the game for us.
Oh, cool.
Telling us, hey, I found this bug, or I found this really cool thing, I like this. This is working, this isn't working. So they're super involved in the development process, which, for a small team, that's really cool.
Have they done anything that was a little shocking?
Yes. So actually, on this mission right here, if you have two choices on how to resolve it, and that will change the storyline. If you actually choose to smash the artifact at the end, you're going to face one of our backer-designed robots. Which we're in the process of balancing, because right now it basically one-shots your entire party.
No.
They came out and they were like, I want a giant
OP.
robot. Yeah, I want him to shoot all the lasers and be really OP. So.
Yeah.
But that's really fun to do as a designer, too.
Yeah, have like a challenge like that, like where it's specifically stated, I want this to be ludicrously
Yeah.
overpowered.
And you're like, how do I do that and still make it fun?
Make it fair. Yeah.
And we set up a forum right after our Kickstarter. So a lot of people came from the Kickstarter directly over to our forum. So we've had some really excited and active people on there, and it's been really great. And certain things changed, like when we asked for people to put yourself in the game. A lot of people bought that for their kids, and they want to put their kids in the game. We didn't really want to shoot and kill kids. And then
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of a conflict.
Yeah.
So we had to change some of the story things, come up with some different ideas in order to incorporate these things. But it's been a really cool challenge for us, and it's made the game better, I think.
That's really cool that you can have like these elements that force you guys to think outside of the box. I think that, I don't know, probably, do you feel that like strengthened overall the creative feel of everything?
Yeah, I definitely think it did.
Yeah, I think having like structures like that where you have to be like, okay, how do we make this work? Yeah. So you said the backers are in early access. Can everybody get early access, or is it just the backers right now?
No, from our website, starcrawlers.com, you can actually go on there and get early access right now. And if you do, then you can be part of the community there and help us build this game too. So that's really exciting.
What is the planned platforms of release for the game?
So it's going to be on PC, Mac, Linux for starters. We're actually going to be in early access on Steam in January. We're already greenlit.
Oh, cool.
And then we're looking to launch it PC, Mac, Linux spring 2015. So, and it is in the Unity game engine, so consoles are in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
You
look at
mentioned
this guy.
your work with PlayStation, so and they have a really big initiative going with indies right now. So
Yeah, I
makes
suppose
sense.
you've got the in for them.
Hopefully, yeah.
So we grabbed the alien artifact, but when we did that, it made the infected worms that were on this planet upset. So now what we're fighting is some cave worms that have been infected by the alien artifact.
So this is the option where you don't destroy it, but you take it?
Right, yes.
Okay, so this is not the overpowered robot.
This is the overpowered worm.
The overpowered worm.
I mean, they look kind of creepy.
Yeah, I like
look at
them,
those,
yeah.
Look at those. What are those called? Mandibles?
Yeah, and they're like weird. They've got like cool, like glowing things coming out of their head. I like the creature design. Are you behind all of the creature designs?
Yeah, so I'm doing the creature design, and then also all of our characters are actually 2D, and then they're rigged like almost like paper dolls and animated. So I'm doing the finished art for those also, and then we have it animated.
Cool. Oh, cool. Yeah.
So you guys said that this was devoid of life, but clearly it's not devoid of life. That was a bait and switch.
Right. So this mission is actually on a different facility. There's life and there's alien stuff on there too, but devoid of all the passengers. So this entire convoy ship, which was supposed to go settle another planet, has shown up and everyone's disappeared off of it. They've all been replaced with these crazy robots and no one knows where they came from.
That's
and alien
cool.
bugs too, because we love alien bugs.
Yeah,
He's got,
bugs.
like,
They're the best.
The story of the universe and all these corporations, and then also what happened on this ship, and then also like these side quests where it's like what's going on in this mine. That sounds really deep and rich.
Sounds a little
That
big.
sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds huge. It's bigger than an iPhone game that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a good thing.
definitely. So tell everyone who's watching the stream one more time where they can find more information, be part of the early access.
Starcrawlers.com.
Starcrawlers.com.
It's super easy to remember.
Yeah.